at long last, what is reputed to be the world's largest single-train petroleum refiner, the Dangote Refinery, has been officially inaugurated. President Muhammadu Buhari, who inaugurated the momentous edifice at the Lekki axis of Lagos, described the 650,000 barrel per day refinery as a milestone for the Nigerian economy and a game changer for the downstream petroleum market on the African continent. Now, the federal government stands to save a whopping 7 trillion naira in the next 5 years, barring any inexactitude in the system. Now, chairman of Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, has hinted that the first product of the gigantic edifice should hit the market by July this year. That's less than a month and a half. It can only get better. But let's take you back to the inception of the project and show you how the then Governor Babatunde Fashola prepared the ground for the success story of the refinery by getting the buy-in of the host community. Please come with us.
Mo sọ fún yín pé a fẹ́ wá kọ́ refinery fún yín bí ṣe rántí àbẹ́ rántí mo dẹ̀ ní ṣé ẹ fẹ́ mọ́ ká máa gbé lọ kí lẹ sọ ń gbà yẹn ṣé ìfẹ́ tẹ bá fẹ́ nawọ́ yín sókè àwọn tí ò yé ṣe ti gbọ́ mi sì ṣó ti yé yín ṣé mo pa lè gbé kínní lọ sí Badagry ṣá Badagry gangan lè pọ̀ wá. Ṣé ẹ fẹ́ abẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ ó ti bẹ̀ yín ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ẹ bá fẹ́ dìde kẹ́ máa lọ ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ẹ bá ti fẹ́ dìde kẹ́ máa lọ ká mọ iye àwa tó kù tẹ́ ẹ bá fẹ́ dìde kẹ́ máa lọ. Now kò sí nǹkan kan tó kù mọ́ ju pé láti wá sọ fún yín sí pé fúnrara mi èmi mo wá fà lé yín lọ́wọ́ mo fà lé ẹ̀yin ọba lọ́wọ́ mo fà lé ẹ̀yin ìjòyè lọ́wọ́ mo fà lé ẹ̀yin ọmọdé lọ́wọ́ mo dẹ̀ fà lé ẹ̀yin àgbàlagbà lọ́wọ́ ó dọwọ́ yín o irọ́ o ẹ má gbé yẹn wá ó di ọwọ́ yín ok. àwa lè ń bá nọ́jà o tí ó bá kù díẹ̀ káàtó àwa ni kẹ́ tọ̀ wá gbogbo àwọn báyìí kò sí kankan tí ò lè rí nínú wọn Justice Ògúntádé bàbá mi ni Bámú bàbá wa ni KLM bàbá wa ni tó bá kù díẹ̀ ẹ má lọ nu kíní kẹlẹ́ lọ bá rin iṣẹ́ wọn jẹ́ o ẹ rí bí.
All right, folks. Yinka, as I said, at long last, the refinery is here. Great expectations and so on. But, you know, I talked about the inexactitudes in the system. Oil theft, vandalization of pipes and so on and so on. But Dangote is a private businessman.
Yes. The only thing that will be different there is that it is not government business. It is a private business. So the man will put the right spade in the right hole. And then we believe that anything an individual does usually succeeds. Why is it that government parastatals fail? Why is it that government business fail? Because everybody goes there and see it as a national cake from which to take.
But
remember,
you and I know that we didn't start this way.
Well, the unfortunate thing is that are we going to blame the founding fathers Are we going to blame the military, or who are we going to blame? Because, in all honesty, I believe very strongly that as we have had unbroken 24 years of democracy now, if the 1979 election and the 1981-83 election had been allowed to stand, the late Buhari, Shagari had been allowed to fumble and wumble through his second term, by the next election, we'll perhaps have corrected ourselves. But now, what we are talking about now is that, look, this refinery is owned by a single individual. Well, the government might have shares and all that, but the man will not fail and will not open his eyes and see you make a mess of it. If it is a government business now, exactly. If it is a government business now, it is on this same program we have asked this question several times. Are there no engineers in NNPC? Why is it that our refineries have failed?
Yeah.
Don't be surprised that some engineers in NNPC will be looking for a job in this place now, or will have been offered a job in this place now, if they find them worthy. Then the question you will ask is, how did you make it that the one that is run by government failed? That you now want to come and work in a private refinery. When they get there, they will change. It is the same thing in the 60s, 70s, 80s. When government newspapers were falling apart and the things were, private newspapers came, the industry changed. The same thing with private TV stations and radios. So the truth of the matter is that when people invest and put their money down, nobody will come there and think it is government money. Because now, you will now say that, okay, because NNPC is sited in Lagos, you must employ a Lagosian. If you see somebody from the other side who is more qualified or whatever, you say, no, we have to take. So, but in this case, it won't be. Dangote will not say that because it is sited in Lagos or because he's a Hausa man, he must employ Hausa people to do the job or only employ Lagosians. He will employ the best. So what we need to do also is to make sure that whatever business that the government runs, everybody comes. When you go to the NNPC or wherever, they have some free fuel that they give some government officials. This will not happen in a private in a private investment business. So the only thing my only regret sort of is that
is it regret or fear?
Fear, okay. If government we are basking and wallowing, you will tell it's the biggest in Africa, in the world, in this, in that. It is not the size that matters. Because you as a government, it is because you failed
that's why this is coming.
And I believe also that Dangote will be very, very happy with himself if the late Yar'Adua had not reversed the sale of Petrochemical refinery to him. He wouldn't have thought of building this one. It was that reversal that jeered him on and said, oh, what the heck? Let me start.
I can do it.
Something all over. And we thank God by July, but we should not rejoice yet. Because everybody is saying, fuel price will come down. How? The man is a businessman. He wants to recoup his investment. So, as much as I love it, that okay. But I hope we will not be also disappointed that fuel queues will disappear. Because it is privately owned. Well, my hope is half raised, but the remaining half is still...
You adopt a look-see attitude.
Because sometimes Nigeria, when you raise your hope very high, it falls flat.
Something breaks in the middle.
And then you are disappointed.
Jide, I'm rather enthralled by the 7 trillion naira which we think government would make. Not impossible.
No, it will save.
Or save, rather.
You know, that is one of the advantages that we would derive from this refinery. Yes. As I said yesterday, Dangote Refinery is not the biggest in the world. It's just the biggest single train, which means a single unit that refines crude to various variants, to different variants, like kerosene, jet A1, and the rest of them. It's not the biggest refinery in the world. People, Nigerians keep saying it's the biggest. And the people say single train, they know what they are talking about. But Nigerians are not adding single train, just says the biggest. The biggest refinery in the world is in India, with a capacity about double what this refinery would do. Because the refinery in India has the capacity to refine 1.240 million. Yes.
Per day.
Yes. That's like double what. So it's not the biggest. But all that people need to do is check. It's not the biggest. It's the biggest single train. That means one unit, you know, turning crude oil to all kinds of variants and all that. Yeah, so the point has to be made. It's not the biggest. It's the 7th biggest in the world. That's his place, 7th biggest. Now, we spent a good chunk of the money that NNPC makes from crude oil sales is spent on subsidy bills. Even when the National Assembly does not appropriate money to the NNPC, on their own from crude oil sales, they will pay for subsidy. And we've been losing a lot of money as a result of this. Now, we make money from crude oil, but we now import PMS. We import PMS with a good chunk of the money that we make from crude oil sales. All the big oil producers in the world are smiling to the bank. They are happy now because of the war in Ukraine.
Yeah.
Saudi, Aramco, they are making record profit, record revenue at this time. Nigeria is not making anything. Apart from the fact that oil theft went rapidly high, the matter of us importing refined product cost us a lot of money. Now, what they are talking about here is, because you are going to be refining locally, you save this money that normally you will have spent paying paying those refineries abroad to refine for you. You then load them in big vessels. They come here. All of those associated costs, which drive up even the price. Because the landing cost, of course, the landing cost of price of PMS bears in mind all of those associated costs. Costs associated with bringing it all the way from that place. Sometimes we go.
The ship's berth offshore.
Yes. You pay the ships you pay the ships.
Barges and
yes. You pay the refiners.
You
the
export
company.
a single product and import several.
So now we just need, they've laid the pipeline. They said the pipeline 1,110 kilometers from the source of crude in the Niger Delta to Lekki, and then you just produce. So all of those freight costs and the rest gone. So they are saying that over 5 years we can actually save
that much.
7 trillion. So that 7 trillion, we can use it for something else.
Deploy it.
We can use it for infrastructure. Why are we taking loans all over the place? It's because we are not making enough money.
We are not earning.
We are not earning enough money. And why are we not earning enough money? This subsidy is a big reason for us not earning enough money, because if NNPC were to simply release all that it makes, without having to take a huge chunk of it
for
and use it as subsidy bill,
and the rest,
you know how much will come to, because we reach a point now where subsidy bill is approaching like 6 trillion in a year.
That is why.
So that's killing. So if you can save this money, good. I mean, it's good for everyone. And Dangote Refinery, yes, Dangote is going to maximize profit. That is its nature. It's going to maximize profit from this line of business. Already now, we've been told that it's going to build, it's going to go into retail business. So he's going to build filling stations all over the place. Already he has imported trucks, more than 15,000 trucks already that are going to be used for that retail business. So they prepare to see Dangote filling stations the same way you are seeing NNPC. I'm sure it will even be on a greater scale than NNPC. So he's going to make money from what he is refining. He's going to make so much money. And with him also having patrons from America, Asia, and the rest.
All over.
More foreign exchange will come into our country. So there is a lot to gain from this. But
we can broach the subject of removing oil subsidy.
No, that is inevitable.
Yeah.
We have to get to the point when it gets removed. Dangote refinery will not crash the price of
it won't.
It will not crash. At best, maybe a marginal reduction, and it's not affect PMS alone.
It would all the same go into competition.
Yes.
Market.
You know, market forces will eventually make this thing come down.
One thing we will be sure of is that, or we should be sure of, there will be no.
And I know that this man too is square scarcity will be thrown out of the window. And this man too from Kano.
Rano.
No, Bua.
Okay, Bua.
Abdul Samad Issa Karabi is also building his own refinery. So I like the healthy competition. Dangote needs to improve his relationship with host communities.
Okay.
That is the import
of
what
former governor.
Because because Fashola responded to the crisis he had with the community. That's when he went there and said, "See, if you have any problem, talk to us directly. It is we that you should talk to. Don't go attacking their facilities and all that." You know, I remember when he said, I live
in your hands.
In your hand. They said, no, in God's hands. So in some of the places where he has set up companies, he's always had this crisis with host community. So I just hope now that is in the past. Because for them to have even gotten to this point, it means that they've been doing some things right. So, and that's what we want to see continue. So the foreign exchange that we used to spend on importing petrol, we cease by God's grace. That is, let's not speak with exactitude. Let's hope that they will definitely stop, because I know some people in our country, if there's anything that they make money through, they will do their best to ensure that. They frustrate the system.
Again, we had said Dangote is a private individual. He's a businessman. So he's in business to make money. Maximize profit, reduce
his own expenditure and all
that's it, and so on. And the buy-in of Nigerians is very important. We must be patient.
Yes.
We need patience now.
More than at any time.
For instance, we expect the products to start rolling out in July.
Yes, it's at the end of, right up to August.
So
we can be sure now what happened last year when we were thrown into an unavoidable fuel scarcity because they brought in some smelly, dirty petrol from somewhere. At least we can be sure now that if whatever petrol is being sold there must have come from Dangote.
Yes.